stunning flower. Anyway, in this video, and welcome by the way, in this video we're going to be asking one simple question. That question is this: does the Canna lily prefer sun or shade? Well, let's find out, because I've got them in both. So your Canna lilies are all from the tropical and subtropical regions of South America, and despite being called a Canna lily, they are not a true lily. They are from the order Zingiberales, which is where you find your bananas, your bird of paradise, cannas, and as such, you wouldn't expect them really to grow here in the UK or Europe or any other sort of cold country. But all of the cannas that you see nowadays for sale in the shops, they're gorgeous leaves, wonderful flowers. They're all hybrids, and this hybridization, which has occurred in Europe, has been done so in order to produce colder tolerant plants. And in fact, in general, hybridization of plants generally results in that showing hardy varieties. So shade or sun, what do they prefer? I mean, important thing is that they'll grow in this country to start off with, but you know, if they are tropical, subtropical, must they be in full sun all the time? I mean, they will do fine in full sun, but will they do the shade? Will their hybrid vigor help you out there too? Let's have a little look. Have a look at this one. Well, you see that there? That there is a Canna musifolia, and if you check the Royal Horticultural Society's website, my favourite website, this plant requires full sun all day, every day. And as you can see here, it is not. This is on the I think the east-facing side of the garden, and it's also being covered by these tetrapanix leaves. Look at the size of that, absolutely enormous. That's over half a metre in length, by the way. I love those, but that's not what I'm talking about today. Now, it wasn't in full shade originally, but it's getting there. But even so, it is growing rather well. But the thing is with this plant, it really isn't going to get warm enough here in the UK to get that thing to flower. So you're not growing it as a flowering plant, you're growing it as a foliage plant, and it is a fantastic foliage plant. The reason why it's called musifolia, which means banana leaf, or musa is the banana family, is because as it gets bigger, it tends to come away from the typical Canna lily sort of leaf and looks more like a banana. You know, I think probably self-explanatory really. But so if it's not going to flower anyway, and it is tolerant of the shade because it's been there since last year, then arguably that is absolutely fine in the shade. And it's such a vigorous plant. It grows at about 3 meters tall, so it is quite big, maybe a little bit too big for your garden. So certainly in that case, I would say that that Canna, absolutely fine. Musifolia, great name, love it. And check out this little monkey that, again, that wasn't in the shade when I planted it, but as the season's gone on, this tree fern's got massive, and I've got a tree daily here which is shading it for now. But as this grows up, I'll start taking off these lower branches and get more light in there. But again, that is full shade. That is still growing, but there is a problem with that one. Yes, you do get the ornamental, lovely, dark, chocolatey purple foliage, and it'll grow to about 3 foot, 4 foot tall. But flowering wise, it's probably going to be a bit too shady to flower. But I'll tell you what, the season's only just started. We'll come back in a month or so and have a look and see just how well these things are getting on. And this one, this is King Humbert, which is a gorgeous, again, another really dark red, purpley red variety. It grows about 2 meters tall, and as you can see here, it is, you know, it's light, but it is shady. It's under this banana tree. It's also got the shade from this apple tree, so it probably doesn't get direct sun really at all during the day. Yeah, this is its second season. We bought it as a root cutting last year, potted it on, planted it out last spring, and it flowered. It flowered, it really generally did, and it's really bulked up this year. We've got about 3 or 4 basal stems coming up, so I'm expecting that to give a really good display. And no, not in full sun, in the shade, massive leaves and flowers. I think the RHS need to re-examine their facts. I do love the RHS. Oh, and in here, and that is, at least for now, deep shade, but the sun will come round and we'll get light on this at the late in the afternoon. But in here, you can't see it, but it will when we get closer. That is one of my absolute favourite Canna lilies, and that is Cleopatra, really, really old variety, and it has this segmented coloration, that like beautiful chocolate purple on the leaves, really wonderful. And even the flowers, you get bicoloured flowers between like orange and red. And again, at the moment, that is in full shade, but you can't tell me that is not growing vigorously. And indeed, this is the third season we've had it, and it's flowered every season, and it's flowered well every season. So again, shade is absolutely fine. But I will say, you look online, check your research, and it will say that if you can give these plants 6 to 8 hours of sun per day, they should be absolutely fine. But these aren't getting that much, and they are still doing really, really well.
4 to 6 weeks later.
So, time has passed, and now we can take a look at how these plants performed in the shade. So first of all, let's have a look at that Canna musifolia, see how that came along. Well, the Tetrapanax papyrifera is still trying to bully all the other plants into the shade, but let's just have a quick look behind this leaf, which I may have to remove, and there you go. Do you know what, that is really coming along quite nicely. It's put on some decent size, it's about 6 foot tall, still putting out foliage, and really, once that next lot of leaves comes out, it's going to be in full sun, so that has done really well. I'm pleased with that. But this is the one I'm really pleased with. This is the Canna Red King Humboldt that we saw earlier, and it's got much bigger. I got two big stems here, and a couple more coming up through, and we've got one flowering spike here, and we've got this one here. Look at that, it's really lovely, and it's, like I say, it's in the shade of the banana tree, and it's in the shade of the apple tree as the sun comes around. So this is shady, and look, that's a lot taller than me. That's nearly 7 foot tall, and a really impressive flower spiking out. Very happy with that. And this unnamed Canna, because this isn't the Canna species or cultivar that was shown on the packet, which was this was supposed to be Stuttgart, which is a strongly white variegated plant, and this clearly is not that. But look, full shade, flower, and more flower. You know, you can't deny these will do well in the shade. Now the Cleopatra, that is flowering, and this is the third flower spike. We've had 2 already. We've had one here which I've cut back, one here that I cut back. So it has done all right. The only problem, we did leave filming these late because we're still waiting for the Humboldt to come through so I could do them all at the same time. Now, despite being in the shade and doing quite well, it's got an issue, had an issue with Canna virus, so I've had to remove 1 or 2 of the canes to slow down the spread. But I think even down here, you can still see some evidence of some Canna virus. I'm not too sure. We'll have to, time will tell, but I don't want to take the whole thing out because I really love this one, and it's very difficult to find these to buy if I did have to replace it. Now, it's not all success. We've had a couple of the fancy foliage colour forms that didn't do quite so well, although they seem to have done a wee bit better than last year. Let me show you about those. This lovely chocolate dark purple form that has struggled because it's in really heavy shade, because above us here we got the apple tree, and then it was below the canopy of this tree fern, and then of course this dahlia came up, but it's starting to grow through. I don't think it's going to flower this year. I think it's just had far too much shade on it, but do you know what, it does look healthy, and hopefully I've been feeding it. Maybe next year we'll start to see some blooms in it, because I am missing a lot of the red colour. We planted a lot of red flowering plants in here, and very little has performed this year, mainly because the whole garden became waterlogged this winter for about it's nearly 2.5 to nearly 3 months, absolutely soaking wet. So a lot of our dahlias, a lot of the cannas, they really struggled regarding the roots. It didn't do very well, so they were behind coming through. And then we've had quite a poor summer. We've had a lot of rain recently, so conditions are extremely wet. We haven't had the warm temperatures, and we haven't had the light coming through. Just been a very poor summer here. But so despite that, I think it's still been a bit of a success with my shady cannas. Let's go and have a look at the ones that are actually in the sun. It's not actually better news. And the reason for that is because we lifted some of the some of the root masses and replanted them in the spring, which really wasn't the best time of year to do it, but I needed to do it because I was doing a lot of moving. It's either move it or lose it. But they've established, they've put out some new canes, and we've still got new leaf coming through. So it's going to be next year, but that's a great form. That's a Tropicana hybrid and beautiful leaf patterning. Yeah, I like that one. So there you have it. Can you grow canna lilies in the shade? Yes, you can. And can you get them to flower in the shade? Yes, you can. No problem at all. So there you have it. That's the answer to the question. And if you've got anything you'd like to add, you're more than welcome to. Just put those in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. So thank you for watching. And before I go, I've got one last message from me from the past. Right now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.